Nuclear power is meaningless in a world where a virus can kill an entire population and leave its wealth intact.
Good afternoon, everybody. Coming to you live again on the same day as a video last night. Well, I just posted the video from last night with a new introduction from this morning. So this is video number 2, and maybe I'll do another one after this. Probably so. I'm going to do a short video on exercises. What we're going to talk about right now is a new American project funded by my tax dollars. I paid for this. And so did most of you in the audience, assuming that you're American. One way or another, paying into the American government for a new experiment. So the new experiment, which we're looking at right here, and I'm going to post this article with the video. This was just published about 3 days ago. And, no, it was 5 days ago. 5 days ago. This was published on October 4th, 2025. The title of this article is quite misleading, as you would expect. So the title of this article is Protective Efficacy of the Uniflu-Vec Influenza Vaccine Vector against the highly pathogenic Influenza A Indonesia H5N1 influenza strain in ferrets. So from the title, you would think, oh, well, this is just an animal experiment. I don't really need to care about this. But it was funded by the American government. It was funded by Anthony Fauci's old department at the NIH, his Department of Allergy and Infectious Diseases. So before I look at this with you, and again, I'll post the article on the website, let's look at some of the previous work on this topic. Most importantly, from 2016, Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, the creation of a new pathogenic coronavirus in Wuhan, China, funded by Anthony Fauci's department at the American NIH, Department of Allergy and Infectious Diseases. So I've posted this article before. It's available online. Anybody can get it. And I'll post it in the contextualization of this. They were so proud of this research, again, published in 2016, again, funded by the American government, by Anthony Fauci's department, conducted at the Wuhan Institute of Virology in Wuhan, China. Wow, where have we ever heard of that city before? This was 4 years before a pandemic virus was released from the city of Wuhan, China, and for a short time was actually called the Wuhan virus. So they were so proud of this that they published a press release, which is also still available, saying, yeah, we created a pathogenic coronavirus that doesn't respond to vaccinations. They're so proud. So I'll post this article. But what they did specifically in that article is they showed that they used synthetic technology to create a pathogenic coronavirus that was able to infect human cells and evade immune function and evade vaccines. Does that sound familiar? It should. Also, I think this was just published this year as well. Yeah, July of 2025 by the American Society for Microbiology, Journal of Virology. Look, they created another influenza virus, replicating recombinant vesicular stomatitis virus, merging it with an H5N1 influenza. Gosh, do you think they're trying to create another pandemic? Or, I mean, could somebody even think that that's possible? That they're focusing in on these H5N1 viruses for the sake of maybe, like, I don't know, what if somebody in that lab gets pissed off and they want to create a pandemic? So let's see. This one also showed, again, I'll post this online. I already posted it before if you haven't seen it. But they created a virus that was resistant against antiviral drugs. That's so advanced of them. It's also resistant against human antibodies, which means that any vaccine would not work, would not be expected to work. Let's see, who funded this? Oh, this was funded by the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease and performed at the University of Pittsburgh Regional Biocontainment Laboratory within the Center of Vaccine Research. Oh, that was so convenient. Even though gain-of-function research was supposedly outlawed years ago, that starts to look like gain-of-function research, doesn't it? Well, let's go look at the new article. I didn't spend a lot of time with it because I don't really care about all the details. I'm not a veterinarian trying to treat imaginary ferrets. But they did create a new influenza virus. They say that the viruses were designed in order to merge with the associated vaccine. So the whitewashed version of this is that they modify these viruses in order to then test what vaccine works better, how does the immune system respond, how can we help humanity through gain-of-function research. That's what they tell you. And hopefully by now, no adult, beyond the age of 20 would be that stupid, but that's how they market this idea. They tell you, we're doing this research so we can understand how your immune system works better against these viruses, so that we can protect you. We're just here to protect you. Okay. Well, you can believe that if you want. Another view of what's being done with this level of research is that these are all military programs. And the goal from a military perspective is to create a virus that kills people, and then you vaccinate the people you're trying to save. In the past, we would have said, oh, well, we want to save our people, right? Our citizens. We might use this in war, kind of like a nuclear war. Except, as was shown in the movie V for Vendetta, which I've recommended to you many times, what was shown in that video is that the strategy changed because, like they said in the movie, they said this in the movie V for Vendetta. You have to see the movie. Conventional warfare, including nuclear warfare, destroys things, and then you have to go back and rebuild. If you use a virus to kill off the population, you don't have to rebuild anything. You kill all the people with the virus, and then, this is what they did in the movie. I'm not saying I think this actually occurs in reality. I wouldn't want to be a conspiracy theorist. But what they showed in the movie, and I'll provide a clip just so you can see that I'm quoting the movie. What they stated in the movie is the problem with conventional warfare and nuclear warfare is that all the resources get destroyed. The infrastructure, the buildings, manufacturing plants. So if they can kill people off with a virus and protect their own troops, this is the theory, protect their own troops with the vaccine, then they can go in there and they don't have to, they can take over a country without having to start from scratch. That's called selective and targeted depopulation.
Oppenheimer was able to change more than a course of a war. He changed the entire course of human history. Is it wrong to hold on to that kind of hope?
I've not come for what you hoped to do. I've come for what you did.
May 23rd. My first batch of subjects arrived today. And I have to admit that I'm very excited. This could be the dawn of a new age. Nuclear power is meaningless in a world where a virus can kill an entire population and leave its wealth intact. May 27th. Commander Prothero toured the lab with a priest, Father Lilliman. who I was told is here to monitor for rules and rights violations. It made me nervous, but afterwards the commander assured me there wouldn't be a problem. June 2nd. I keep wondering if these people knew how they might be helping their country, if they would act any differently. They're so weak and pathetic. They never look you in the eye. I find myself hating them. Nuclear power is meaningless in a world where a virus can kill an entire population and leave its wealth intact.
So, they created 2 viruses, apparently, by splicing genes, and that's what they did. Let's look at, apparently on this page I highlighted quite a bit, so let's just focus in on that. The 2 genetic fragments originate from a Mississippi influenza virus and a California virus. And then they talk about some other changes. Influenza virus was generated similarly. These are recombinant viruses. And then they used a third virus kind of as a test. The virus vector was constructed using the reverse genetics method with synthetic plasmids generated by a company in Germany. Let's see what else I highlighted here. This was done in Eastern Europe, oddly enough. The experiment in ferrets was performed by the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases. Hey, that's Anthony Fauci's old office at the United States National Institute of Health. Let's see who funded this. Oh, this was funded by the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease at the National Institute of Health. And the individual researchers were apparently funded, which means they got money from the American government. They call it financial support was provided by the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease at the National Institutes of Health in the United States. Well, of course, this was overseen by American rules, right? I mean, if American taxpayers are paying for it. No, this was done in Austria, the Slovak Republic, which none of us could even find on a map. Another researcher from Germany, and then again, the Slovak Republic. But they specifically state that this was performed in, I think it used to be called Slovakia. I don't even know where that is. I mean, I could ballpark it. The mouse experiment was conducted in the Institute of Virology Biomedical Research Center of the Slovak Academy of Sciences. That's to get around American restrictions. So Americans are paying for it. American government's funding it. But we've bypassed any American regulations. The Slovak Academy of Sciences and approved by the